Yay, so welcome to our team call, May 24th, and we'll get started right away so we can respect Darren's time. And thanks, Darren, for agreeing to be our guest speaker tonight. And I asked Darren to be our guest speaker tonight, and he's going to talk about, what is it, online security? Something. Online security. And the reason I asked him honestly to speak on this is because I know a lot of times I used to think this way, like, oh, it could never happen to me. I know when I heard about Chalene Johnson being hacked, that was the first thing that I thought, well, Chalene Johnson, she's huge. Like, I mean, come on, that happens to people like that. That could never happen to me. But as Darren started to talk more and more about this and bring more awareness to this, it was like, oh shit, maybe it can happen to all of us. And it does happen to a lot of people, a lot more than we think. And it actually just happened to one of our very own, Julieta. She's on our team. She got hacked a few weeks ago, and they charged $16,000 on Facebook ads on her credit card. And so again, it can happen to anyone, and it happens all the time. And so that's why I asked Darren to speak on this call so he can help us be more secure and do things that can help prevent this from happening to us. So Darren, I will let you take it away.
All right. Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And so now I know how to pronounce that correctly. I was saying Julieta, so it's Julieta.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll say that correctly. So it was pretty devastating what happened to her. And like Leticia said, this is something that can happen to any of us, and it will happen to us. So a little bit of background so you know why I'm talking tonight. I'm not just the guy with the scar and a tank top on. I used to be a federal agent with the DEA, and I used a lot of the same technology to go after the bad guys there that we do every day with our coaches, our customers, our teams, everything. So technology is pretty much the same across the board, and there are a lot of bad people out there who are trying to get you, and it's happening more and more and more and more. It's pretty scary. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys so I can walk you through some stuff so we can learn exactly what we need to be looking out for. So let me attempt to do this. Sorry, I'm a Zoom novice. Okay.
There it goes.
So can you guys all see my screen right now?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, cool. So I need you guys to understand something. Just because you are online, you are a target. But that does not mean you have to be a victim. Literally, just because we are using technology today in 2016, that makes us a target. You don't have to be a celebrity. You don't have to be somebody with a ton of followers. Just because we're using that technology, it's a risk. Just not last year anymore, but in 2014, 50% of American adults were hacked. That means their accounts were compromised, their social security numbers were taken, credit cards, everything. Basically imagine like that, all of your personal details are taken. And that happened to half of us in 2014. So are you willing to just leave it the chance to see what side of that coin you ended up on, or do you want to take some steps to protect yourself? And that's the ultimate goal here. Facebook is one of the absolute biggest ways that we all communicate. And this is an outdated statistic, but in 2011, roughly 600,000 accounts per day were being compromised. That means those accounts being lost every single day. And that is a staggering figure because that was 2011. Now in 2016, we've surpassed that billion user a day mark. So you can guarantee that those stats are higher. This is just the last public statistic that Facebook disclosed. I mean, that was at the time, as you see here, 556 million victims per year, over 1.5 million victims per day. That is 18 victims every second. So I'm no math wizard, but do the math since we started this talk right here. 18 per second. That's how many accounts are being lost like that. So it's a pretty serious thing. What I want you to understand more than anything is that you are invaluable, literally invaluable. all the knowledge that you have amassed since you were a little tiny kid, everything you've learned, all of that, that is valuable to hackers. Information is the most valuable thing today. It's not even so much money going after specific things. It's information, and information in abundance. A lot of it is even more valuable. That's why everybody is trying to get it, whether it's through legal means like advertising and Google watching us or giving us free Gmail in exchange for reading our emails and targeting us with ads, or hackers and other cyber criminals who are actually trying to come after us illegally and get that information without our permission. So information is invaluable. And as coaches, you have a shit ton of it. I hope I can cuss on here. You have a ton of it. I want you to think about how many customers, everybody that you have on your team that you can see in that online office of yours. Think about that. That's a staggering amount of information. And if somebody got into your accounts, they now have access to everything that you do, meaning they're going to go target all those people. And what do you think that does when one of your customers receives an email, a phishing email from you, and they see that you've been hacked? It doesn't sit well with them, because trust is the number one thing we have in this world. And once you violate that trust, it's hard to gain it back. So we need to take some defensive steps here, because the absolute best thing that we can do is put up a strong defense so that we don't have to react after the fact, like what we just learned with Julieta. How do they do this? Well, the common way that you're going to see it is social engineering. And it's really an art form more than anything. It's basically where they psychologically manipulate you into divulging information that you otherwise wouldn't. Because none of us would willingly just give out our social security number or our credit card or any of that information. So what they do is they use the information that is already out there on us. And there's a lot of it out there. You'd be surprised just how much is available for free, and as little as $9 to get basically all your past addresses and all your information and everything, your phone number, all this stuff. So what happens is when somebody wants into our account, they can social engineer their way in there by using that information. So if you answered your security questions honestly, for example, they would know maybe the first street you grew up on. They would know where you're living now, your phone number, all this stuff, and they could guess their way in. And this is exactly what happened with Chalene Johnson. This information was out there, so they just guessed their way into her email. Once they were in her email, they reset their Instagram password. Password reset, went right to that email, and guess what? They were in. Over the course of a few hours, they went through and deleted every single message, every single post, everything from all her years on Instagram, gone. We just watched it happen, because at that point, there was nothing you can do. Then you have to recover from this. So how we see this a lot is through something called phishing with a PH. Phishing is where somebody is pretending to be a trustworthy source or someone you would trust normally to get information out of you. And you've probably seen this a million times, right? We all know about that prince from Zaire that wants to smuggle in all this money, millions of dollars. I don't know about you guys, but I have a lot of interest from Zaire in my email. These guys are super interested in giving me millions of dollars for literally doing nothing. This is phishing. That's a prime example. These people will pretend to be AT&T, Verizon, Facebook, Twitter. Their communication will appear to be legit. It looks totally legit at first glance. That's why what we're going to do now is we are actually going to walk through a prime example of one of the biggest phishing things going on right now on Facebook. This is taking down users left and right. There are pages with millions of fans and likes who have reached out to me, and this is the exact form that took them down. So I need you guys to pay special attention right now, because we're going to go through this. Because this is one of the primary ways that you communicate with your coaches and customers. Facebook Messenger, Facebook posts, comments. We use Facebook in groups. We use it everywhere. Facebook has become like the go-to platform for Beachbody coaches, and therefore it's really important that we secure it. And even more important that we protect that by knowing what to look for. because none of us would willingly just give away our Facebook account. But when you get that message that your page is going to be taken down in a heartbeat, if you don't fill out this form, it freaks you out. So naturally, we being trustworthy individuals, we want to believe that people are telling us the truth. We want to believe that this is actually Facebook, and we don't want to lose that account that has access to everything. So this is the form. This is the deadly phishing form on Facebook right now that is taking down everybody. It may look a little bit differently because as soon as one pops up, we report it, gets taken down, another one pops up. So how this comes about is you get an email or you get a message to your inbox on Facebook. It could be either one. It happens differently to different people. But what they do is they tell you something to the effect of your account is going to be suspended or deleted because you've either violated some policy that Facebook has or you have been doing something illegal on there. They make it out to be a million different things, but they say it in terminology that is scary. So immediately you're thinking, well, shoot, I have to fill this out. So you click on the link. The first thing that you need to know about that link is it's going to take you to Facebook. So it's going to look legit. So if we look right up here in the top URL bar there where it says the Facebook address, it's actually on Facebook. And it's even green with a lock symbol because it is HTTPS. It's the secured version of the site. So by all accounts, it looks trustworthy because you are actually on Facebook. So you'll notice though, it's apps.facebook.com. It's a subdomain of Facebook. So first thing to look for whenever you're using your computer or phone or tablet is, are you on the site that you think you are on? And in this case, you kind of are. But what we notice is that apps, we're in the apps subdomain here, and Facebook really wouldn't send us to an app on their platform to verify our account or to get that blue check mark or to get back our account from being suspended or whatever. They're not going to send you to an app. So the first thing to look for, we always want to look up in that address bar, are we really where we think we are? And in this case, you can see that something a little strange just right out of the get-go. But let's say we missed that. We'll move on. So this one was for a page owner who wanted to get verified. So you see at the top, Facebook pages get verified. So I'll go ahead and read this here. Facebook pages. This appeal form is to help page owners to verify ownership of their pages. Already it sounds a little strange, right? This appeal form is to help page owners to verify ownership of their pages. One of the things we want to look out for is the terminology they use, the vocabulary, their style of writing it. Fishermen are getting a lot better these days, where once there used to be a lot of spelling mistakes and errors and all this stuff, not so much anymore. They're getting better and better because they know they can't mess up anymore because it looks blatantly obvious. So here, it sounds okay, but this appeal form here, it doesn't really make a lot of sense because we're trying to verify ownership of our pages. Why do we need help to do that? Why wouldn't we just submit a document directly to Facebook? So next sentence, please be careful by filling out this form. You sent this to me. Facebook sent this to me. Why should I be careful using it? You're a trustworthy source, correct? So already that's another red flag there. Please be careful by filling out this form. You must put comma, you must put valid data on all the fields. We made this form for, and here's where it starts to get pretty weird. Developing a customized strategy for helping page owners. Why would Facebook need to develop a customized strategy to help its page owners? It doesn't make a lot of sense. Guiding you through the process of verifying your rights. Presumably, you shouldn't have to verify your rights. Everything is stated very clearly in Facebook's privacy policy. They're not going to now guide you through that through this simple form. Helping you track and optimize your access logs of your page. Does anybody know what that means? Nobody does, but they just say this stuff here to say a lot of stuff that sounds official and sounds scary enough that you feel like I need to do something. So if you proceed here, if you receive an email or message to your account or your page to verify your ownership, you are obligated to fill out this form. You are not obligated to do anything. Nothing. You don't have to do anything. And so them obligating you to fill out this form makes no sense here. Now, of course, below that, we can see the lock and the shield. And of course, we know if there's a lock and a shield on a page, it's got to be official, right? Lock and shield, official. This is just them dressing this app up so that it looks secure, because we see that, we think, oh, that looks, just subconsciously in our heads, it's saying to our brain, lock and shield, secure, protected. You're just thinking this unconsciously. So it's just one more thing. A combination of all this then moves you into the form. So now when we look at the form is where it basically asks for everything. Our full name, required star. Email or phone, required star. Password, required. Re-enter your password, required. A link to your page. And of course, the comment field is optional because they don't give a damn whether you write a comment in there. Once you hit that submit button, you will lose your page. In a matter of minutes, it will be gone, and you won't be able to get it back without Facebook actually stepping in. And it's very unfortunate, but at that point, there's nothing that I can do for you. There's nothing that anybody else can do, because what they will do, the person receiving that information just received a message with every detail they need to log into your account. So they're going to log into your account. Once they do that, they're going to go to your page. They're going to remove all the admins, including you, from your page, add themselves as an admin, and now you've lost access to your page. They're then going to flip that and sell it on eBay. Somebody who just had a Facebook page, actually it was an Instagram page, with like 130,000 followers, lost it, and within a half hour, it was up on eBay for, I think it was $60 or something. Started at $30. It was crazy. Like, that's how fast and how cheap the stuff goes for, because they flip it and then they flip it again and they flip it again. Once Shalene's accounts got hacked, it had been sold like 3 times within hours. So this happens very quickly, and you are essentially giving them everything they need. So the thing I need you to remember is that Facebook will never ask you for your password. Nobody on any service will ever ask you for your password. So if you get an email, you get a message, you get a phone call, you get anything saying, I need your password, you know immediately there's something fishy going on, fishy with the PH, because nobody's going to ask for your password. That is sensitive, that is confidential to you, so you do not have to enter that, and do not give it to anybody. That's different, of course, than, say, a PIN. If your security alarm goes off and you have a PIN that you must give them. What I'm talking about is your password to your account, and they're not going to ask for that. At the only thing they may do is have you reset your password, which will send you an email to do that, and it'll be an official email. So look out for something like this. This form can take different shape, but the gist of it is the same. So what you see here will more or less be similar to what you potentially will see if you get one of those messages on Facebook Messenger, or if you get one of those messages in your email. If it takes you to a page like this, first look up at the top, check the web address, and then read the information. Really look at it. Is it written well? Does it make sense? Or is it just a bunch of gibberish trying to get me to fill out a form with a bunch of details that I should never give to anybody, because you're giving them everything they need to log in? So that is Facebook phishing. Another thing that we need to look at is your apps and all the apps that are connected to Facebook. So let's do a little social media housekeeping. This is a snapshot of my lovely wife Danielle's Facebook before we went in and cleaned it out. This is everything that she gave access to her Facebook. And if you look at that, that's a lot of apps. That's a lot of people who are able to see your information, who are able to access your information. You can see that a lot of this only has access to friends and stuff like that, but you'd be surprised how many things over the years you've granted access to without even thinking about it, because we don't think about it when we're just quickly logging into something. It asks, can we have access to your friends? You want to use this service? You say, yes, of course. So what I recommend doing is going up to that lock symbol in the top right corner of Facebook and clicking that, and then clicking the See More Settings link. And that'll take you to this screen where over on the left sidebar, you will have apps. So click on apps and take a look do a little housekeeping there and see what services you've granted access to your Facebook account. And do any of them really need to be there? Of course, you'll have something like Instagram, because we all sling pictures or videos from Instagram to Facebook. And in that case, it's probably a safe bet because Facebook owns Instagram. So they pretty much already have your information. But all these other ones, it's something to keep in mind, because we don't want to invite somebody who could potentially get hacked themselves, or you're inviting a service that is already compromised, or who is just totally not legit and they're just trying to get your information. So be very leery of Facebook games, Facebook contests, all these things. Like, everybody sees those things come through on their newsfeed asking you, to figure out your stripper name, the first street you grew up on, and your mother's maiden name. That's phishing. That's a way for these people to get a bunch of information to then go try it on your security questions and see if it gets them into your account. And once they're in, the unfortunate stuff happens. So like I said, it happens very quickly. So it's just something to be aware of, so that as you use social media, especially Facebook, keep an eye out for potentially dangerous things. We all see those things that people post. It could be a contest, it could be a game, it could be a link to something. Be careful of what you're clicking on. If you're ever uncertain about something, let's say you get an email, if you're uncertain about anything, you think it might be a little weird, just copy the link and then paste it in a text document or something, so you can actually see what it is. You can just right click on it, hit copy link, paste it out and see, is this really taking me to Facebook, or is this taking me to, something dot Facebook spelled wrong.com. So just very quickly, it would appear that you're on Facebook. It could be many different things. I've seen some really, really good phishing attempts. This one Instagram account that I was working with recovering, man, they did an excellent job. They used Iconosquare, which is an Instagram service that connects into your and gives you stats and all this stuff, but it looked identical. They literally copied every single image and they rebuilt the site. Instead of Iconosquare, it was Iconsquare or something like that. So it was just one letter off, but it looked identical. And so this guy, sure enough, he went in, filled it out, gave access to Instagram, and within minutes, it was lost. And he lost it all. And he had like 400,000 followers. It was crazy. So it happens very quickly. It happens easily. That's why it's really, really, really important to just pay attention, to read, to slow down a little bit, and just think, is this really what I think it is? So fitness equals security. We all like to be physically fit. Your Beachbody coaches, physical fitness is the cornerstone of what you do. But we also have to be digitally fit, because this day and age, it's not enough to just be physically fit. You have to have your digital fitness in gear, because literally everything that you've worked so hard for in your business, in your life, everything like that can be taken down if you just don't do some simple stuff. So we can't neglect the digital fitness. We focus on our sleep. We focus on our nutrition. We focus on doing our workouts. We drink our Shakeology. We do all this stuff religiously, but we have to also not only do this security stuff ourselves, but you have to share it with your teams. This needs to be a part of your training as much as any other aspect is. If you're going to train people on how to use social media better, we have to use it we have to teach them at the same time how to use it safely, how to use it securely, so that they don't accidentally tell people something that is going to get them in trouble. So digital fitness needs to be a part of your training, your personal training and your team's training. And don't neglect it. This is a way that I did that when Shalene got hacked. Just a fun thing. I just put it up on Instagram. If your password is the same on 2 accounts, 20 push-ups, 3 accounts, 30 push-ups, 6 or more, no push-ups, go fix your life. And it was just a fun kind of thing. Came up with the hashtag. But this is a way that you can have fun. It doesn't need to be boring, because everybody thinks that security is boring. But you can have fun with it. You can make it sexy. You can make it fun. You can make it something that people are willing to do. And that's what this is all about. So we don't neglect something that could get us into trouble. So this is the motto. This is what I want you guys to do. Think about security like this. Just be a giant pain in the ass. That's all you're doing. we're not going to be able to stop every hacker and computer that is going to spend the next 50 years targeting us. But what we can do is we can put some speed bumps in the road. We can put some speed bumps that are going to slow them down. So after Shalene got hacked, I was interviewed on a podcast, a social media marketing podcast. And on that podcast, we talked about some things about two-factor authentication and two-step verification and verifying your account with SMS text messages. And a hacker actually chimed in the comments. And down there at the bottom, he said, basically, I could get in this way, but if somebody had this enabled, I wouldn't spend the time doing it. I would just move on to the next person who didn't do any of that. And so that's really what we're doing here. We're putting that speed bump in the road everywhere we can so that somebody just can't fly through our social media world or fly through our digital life at 1,000,000 miles an hour, just taking everything before we even know what hit us. So we're slowing them down by putting speed bumps in there and being a giant pain in the ass. That's really all this is. It's not fancy. It's very simple. And it will work because they're not going to mess with somebody that has put up some basic precautions, that has a good defense game. So how do you do that? What I want you to do when you are done here on this call tonight is go to beyondthepassword.com. And there I have a free checklist. It's totally free. You just download it. 10 steps, the most important 10 steps that will keep you safe and secure online. It will help you protect yourself from hackers and other cyber criminals who are looking to harm you. Because like I said at the beginning of this, people are after you, whether we think they are or not. Just because we are online, they want to get that information. So beyondthepassword.com is your checklist. Now, I know that some of this, let me see if I can stop sharing here. I realize that when you go through this checklist, it's not all the easiest stuff in the world. Some of it can be intimidating. So I want you to tackle it slowly. Take things one step at a time and know that very shortly here, very soon, I do have something coming out that will help walk you through every step of this. You'll be able to follow along on your screen. You'll be able to watch, just click, tap here, do this, all that. It'll walk you through the entire process of securing your digital life. So it'll make it very easy. And if you've downloaded that checklist, you'll be notified when that goes live and you'll be the first people to know. So that is my spiel. I'd like to open it up now for a few questions because I know a lot of people out there are stressed out about a lot of this stuff, especially if you dealt with it. So I'll just kind of open up the floor to Leticia and let her open up to you guys for any questions.
Yay. Thank you, Darren. Thanks so much. And before, just really quick, I used to be one of those people that thought it could never happen to me.
Yeah.
All of this stuff used to be over my head, and it actually used to annoy me. And it still annoys me, but ever since Darren started to really put knowledge on this, it's opened up my eyes a lot. And I just think, imagine someone taking over your Facebook. That's scary and such a nightmare. Or going above and beyond and getting in your credit cards and your social security, which it happens all the time. So just make sure you go to his website, guys, and make sure you go through the steps because it truly, really, really is important. Like you said, if we're online, we can be hacked or phished or whatever it's called. But if you guys have any questions, you guys can unmute yourself or raise your hand. Oh, here, Jennifer has a question. Got you, Jennifer. Okay, you're unmuted.
Hey, just real quick, what would you recommend keeping track of all your passwords in? Because I need to go fix my life, but what if I just write it down in my planner and leave it at the, gas station?
That's a great question. And it's actually the second thing on my list on that checklist that you'll download.
Cool.
So basically, it's impossible to remember all these passwords because for every single service that we have, every account, you need to have a random, just totally random password for that you don't even know for every single account. So obviously, human beings are terrible at generating passwords. We suck at it. We think we're super witty and smart. We replace S's with dollar signs and A's with at signs and all the stuff that nobody would think about, right? So we use a password manager. And a password manager, 1Password is my personal favorite, number 1Password. It is amazing. So 1Password basically keeps track of all this for you. It generates the passwords for you. If you can store your credit cards in there, you can put identities in there so you can fill them out quickly when you're checking out online. And you can log into Facebook with just a simple button tap or one click of a button. It's very easy. 1Password really is the greatest app ever invented. I could not live without it. I couldn't use a computer without it. And my wife resisted me for a long time, and now she could not live without it. Like, her entire world is in 1Password, and there you have a master password that unlocks that vault. And basically, you have to remember 1Password for the rest of your life. So,
okay, well, what happens if somebody like breaks into that?
that's the follow-up question, right?
All right.
Everybody always asks that question next. So you don't have to worry about that. So how this works, everything is encrypted on a device level with 1Password. So basically, it uses encryption to the point where you couldn't crack it in a human lifetime. Like, nobody's going to sit there and guess their way in, unless your password is like cake or something. And then, of course, you're making it easy. So don't make it your dog's name or anything like that. Actually, in this whole program I have coming out, it walks you through how to choose a good password, how to set it up, how to generate it. But 1Password makes it super easy. And you don't have to worry about somebody guessing their way in. The only thing you have to worry about is if you give somebody your password. Because if you do give them your password, then they can get in and they'll have access to everything. But if you use a strong password, the easiest thing to do that I recommend these days for 1Password, pick 4 words, that's it. You can remember 4 words. And it has a handy generator when you're starting up. And you just click generate and just keep hitting generate until you find a combination that you can remember and you like. And that becomes your password. So for the rest of your life, it's like 4 words with spaces in between them or dashes or whatever's convenient for you. And basically, it's more the length of the password at this point in time than it is using a bunch of characters. So I'd rather you have a 32-character password than a 12-character password with a bunch of symbols in it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because longer is going to be harder to crack for a computer that's just dedicated to cracking that password. So, but really, like I said, it would, if you had like 4 words for your password, that would legitimately be randomly generated words, not words that you're like your dog's name, your cousin, all this stuff. Like random words. That will take a lifetime for someone to even attempt to crack. And nobody's going to spend a lifetime on your password because you're going to probably change it by that point anyways.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's a great question. It's the first question everybody asks, and it's the second question everybody always asks.
I have 2 questions for you, Darren.
Okay.
First, I want to say thank you for your call. That gave me a little bit of relief for all happened to me. I did everything you say to me, and somehow I changed my email and everything in my computer. And they did it again. They went in my account and everything, and so we were wondering how. We think like, do you think it's because I did in the same computer, and my computer might have a virus and they get you in, or doesn't have anything. Right now, I took my computer off. I did it again from another laptop and do everything from 0 again. And my other question is, do you recommend me to go to the police station and put, something and tell them and open a case or something, because really happened again? And like I told you, I pay LifeLock, and this just past weekend they opened a credit card with my matching social security number. But LifeLock took, they are doing their job and they stopped everything. But do you recommend me to go to the police station, or I don't need to?
So for your specific case, I would, only because of the dollar amount. It's now a pretty decent crime, and they will investigate that. So if they hadn't stolen any money, it would be basically, they're going to, what are they going to say? Oh, they got it on my Instagram. Like we can't, like with Shalene, they didn't want to hear anything like that until it started being money involved. So yes, I do recommend for your case, go there, because just the sheer amount of dollars that they've actually stolen from you, they will go after that. So, and they may actually have a case open already. Who knows? There's a lot of the same players in this field. So I would, in your case, recommend that. Now, for your first question, it is very possible that there is a virus on your computer. Do you use a PC or a Mac?
Mac.
Mac. It's less likely than in that case that you have a virus, but still, it's not out of the window. A lot of people think that Macs are totally virus proof. That's not exactly the case. There's just less written because less people use Macs. And hence one of the reasons why I do prefer people use Macs, because out of the gate, they're going to tend to be more secure for most people. But in your situation, it is possible. What I recommend doing is just restarting and reinstalling everything. So wiping your computer, it'd be hard to walk you through it here, but basically you're going to wipe your operating system. You're going to start fresh. But what is likely happening is they have access, in your case, to your social. You gave them everything. So your social, your literally everything. Like it was bad. This is like as bad as it could be. I hate not to sugarcoat it, but like it's really bad. So that's how they're able to open up these other accounts and stuff. But they're in your accounts already. So you have to go through strategically, and you want to eliminate like the chain, basically. So we want to change your email first, right? So that they don't have access to that. So when you reset your other passwords and it comes through, a lot of the time, like one person was having this vicious game where the same with Shalene. Every time she reset her password, it came through, they clicked the link, they deleted it before she even received it, and then they went and changed it again. So you have to get them out strategically of each one of those accounts using like one password to generate all these random passwords for you and change every single account. But first, starting with your email, setting up two-factor authentication, stuff like this, everything that's on the checklist that you guys will download. But by doing that, that way it's going to prevent them from basically everything funneling back to that one account they have access to. Another thing, like how many different sites have you given access to Facebook? One of the biggest tips that I can give you guys is to never log into other sites with Facebook. Always have a separate account for every single website. Because if you've logged into 20 sites with Facebook, guess what? Somebody gets your Facebook, they now have access to every single site that you connected to it. So whenever you visit a site and it says, would you like to log in with Facebook? Say, no, I would not. And sign up for a new account, because that is one of the things that brings down a lot of people and gets people in there very quickly, because like that, they have access to every site you've ever connected to Facebook. But in your case, yes, absolutely, you're going to reinstall everything, but you need to first change your email, change everything. The email service that I recommend now, they have free, and then there's also a paid version, but the free version works awesome, is Proton Mail. PROTONMAIL. It's encrypted email. So you have a login password.
Can you
and then
repeat
you also
it again, please?
Proton Mail, like a proton, mail, PROTONMAIL.com. And it is awesome. I've switched everything over to that. It's really good. You can have aliases. You can do all the cool stuff you can do with Gmail. And they have an iOS app. It's great. They have an Android app. And I like it because it's double security measure. Basically, they won't read your email. They can't read your email. The NSA can't read your email. Nobody can read your email. It is completely 100% private and secure. Like literally nobody's getting in there. So you have a login password, and then you also have a mailbox password. So once you've logged into your account, you have to use that mailbox password. Sounds complicated, right? It's really not. And I show you in this academy how to do it very quickly. But like if you have an iPhone with Touch ID, you can just use your fingerprint. You never have to type in your password. So I would recommend using Proton Mail, switching everything over to that. You can also set up your work email. If you have a personal domain, you can do it through them if you use the paid service. So that's kind of nice. Yeah.
Since my emails are secure now, I make another one and I leave the first one. I change the password and I put in LifeLock my new emails to protect my emails, my address, everything is there with LifeLock. Do you think they will see my emails are secure that way?
It's hard to know without looking at all your stuff, to be honest. I mean, these guys are good. They're into everything that you have, probably every account. So some more of the best advice that I can ever give you, never answer a security question honestly. It's one of the other things that'll bring you down in a heartbeat. So like on my list, update your software. Probably if I could give you two things to remember for the rest of your life, never answer a security question honestly, and always update your software. Don't neglect updates. So, but in your case, it's hard because that's why this is a hard situation, because once you've been hacked, it sucks, guys. Like it sucks. It's going to be a lot of time. It's going to be a lot of money. It's going to just be, it's an effort. I mean, it takes forever I have somebody who got hacked months ago and they're still dealing with it. People still pop up and open cards and open all this stuff. So I can't stress enough, like, please just take these preventative measures, because once it happens, like Leah can tell you, it is the worst. Like there's really nothing worse. I mean, it's horrible. So you just gotta hang in there and just you gotta stay vigilant. And fortunately, you have LifeLock watching out for new accounts being open because your social's out there. But really, for every one of you guys, just change your email password, make sure that nobody can get in there, And so that any resets or anything from other accounts that go there, that they're not getting in, and then go and change those other passwords on every other service. But I do recommend Proton Mail. Nobody else is getting in there. So once you've changed that, nobody's getting in there. So
Thank you so much.
I have a question.
cool.
Hello. Hi.
Hi, gotcha.
I have a question. I was just listening about what you're suggesting about Proton Mail, and not answering security questions. For example, I think Outlook has. That's the way I set it up. I set it up that instead of asking me security questions, they will request a code that they will send it to my cell phone. But that's the way is that still safe, or you think they can even get into that too?
So what that is called, that's called two-factor authentication. Well, that specific method is more like two-step verification. Essentially,
yes.
You give them your phone number, and presumably this is how it works. Instead of having security questions that anybody could guess their way in, they use a device that you presumably have physically on you, your cell phone, for example. So when you log into your account, not only your password's not enough. Also, they're going to send you a 6-digit code to your phone. You're going to copy that. You're going to paste it in so they know, yes, this person is indeed the person trying to log in. Or if somebody else tried to log into your account, guess what? You'll still receive that text. You'll just know that somebody's trying to get into your account and they can't get in without that code. So the only way this has been circumvented is via people who actually call into, and this has happened with Shalene as well, this happens to people, they call into AT&T, for example, they answer their terrible security questions that they have there, they give your PIN or whatever, that's probably your birthday, and they get in there, you give them a new phone, they set up forwarding, and then now when that code goes out, it forwards to them. So that's how people have circumvented this. This is why the text message version of this isn't ideal. The better version is using true authentication where a code is generated in an app, a separate app like Google Authenticator or 1Password, which you then just copy and paste. So that's the preferred method, but what you're doing is definitely way better than security questions. It's the same what Instagram has now.
Yeah, because I choose to do that because this happened to me long ago, and I kind of learned the hard way. Didn't get to the point to get my Social Security, but it's just so easy. Like I say to my friends, these lazy people, instead of going to find a job with these talents, they're just choosing to steal the piece of other people. So I choose to do this. But obviously, when I get this two-way verification, is because I want to get in. And I have a lot of different accounts, and sometimes I don't remember my own password. So I am changing the password very often. Because I just, that's how it goes sometimes. But I guess somehow, in a way, I'm been in the safe with that. But I don't know. I'm going to try to do, you say it's called 1Password?
1Password. It's hands down the best password manager. There are a lot of them out there. 1Password is the only one I personally trust and use myself. Really get 1Password. It's the best. I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
And never know another one of your passwords. There's honestly, if you're an Apple user, you'll know your iCloud password because you have to enter it a lot when you're downloading apps and stuff. But so maybe for Apple users, 2 passwords for the rest of your life. But for most people, you can store everything in 1Password. I mean, it's just it will save your life. You will wonder how you ever lived without it once you have it. So, but you're doing the right thing. Always, if the option is available, always turn on two-factor authentication, sometimes called two-step verification. Verification is the method that you're used to there, with them sending you a code. Now, in my upcoming program, my academy that walks you through all this, I actually have a course that shows you how to do this safely. So we use what's called Google Voice. You get a free number. You can make it your business line. And I give that number out to everybody out there because I don't want anybody to have my cell phone number. So I give out that number. And then also what's nice is all the codes go to that, which is secured via two-factor authentication on Google. So basically it renders the whole thing with people being able to get it by pretending to be you and calling your cell provider useless because they can't do it anymore. So there's a whole lesson on walking you through how to do that, but it's just not out just yet, but it will be soon.
Yay. Thank you, Darren. And I know it's already 8:45, so I want to respect your time and just thank you again for doing this for us. I recorded it, so I would definitely be playing this once a month to our team because it's definitely something that we need to be aware of. And guys, just go to that beyondthepassword.com. Tons of information on there, and it takes you through the steps like a dummy like me can understand it. So do that tonight. And I know some people were talking about they were freaking out and being scared. And yeah, I mean, it is scary, but if we take the proper precautions, then we can prevent it from happening, or at least do our best to prevent it from happening. That way you can sleep better at night. And don't think, oh, I just have a couple of followers, not a big deal. It's a nightmare. It doesn't matter if you have a little bit of followers, a lot of followers.
Yeah, literally. I've watched this happen to people with millions of followers. I've watched it happen to people with 30 followers. So it's like, it's not a follower thing. I can't stress this enough. If you are using technology in today's world, you're going to eventually run into this. Somebody's going to try to get in. Somebody is. It's just how it works, sheer numbers. I mean, if you think of how many people are using Facebook, if just in 2011, 600,000 of them every day were losing accounts. I mean, this is serious stuff. And now we're running into stuff like ransomware. Ransomware is the new big one that you're probably going to start hearing about in the news and stuff, where basically somebody takes over your device and holds it ransom from you until you pay them money, and then presumably they give it back to you, which they probably won't. So they'll just take your money. But yeah, that's going to be the next one, taking over corporations, everything. So it's serious stuff. And as coaches, you have a lot of valuable information that people trust in your hands, in your online office, and your email lists and all this stuff. So you have to protect it. Like, it is your duty. Like, normally I tell everybody you got to secure this stuff, but for you guys, like, you have to. If you're not, like, you're doing people wrong. You have to protect their information. If somebody trusts you enough to give you everything, their phone number, address, all this stuff, you have to protect that. It is your duty. I mean, trust is everything, and you got to secure that.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Darren. I really, really appreciate it. And thanks everyone for being on. And everyone's going to go to your website for sure. I'm going to do
Definitely start there. Yeah.
All right. Thank
you guys. Thank you for having me.
Thank
Good
you,
night,
Darren.
Thank you.
Bye.